As you might know, American English isn't the same as British English, like I suppose many dialects across this country as well, and there are many in the United States. And one thing that sounds rather peculiar to us, I'm not sure if it's across the whole of the United States, but in certain parts of it, particularly the Midwest, sounds peculiar perhaps to our ears, is the use of the verb to visit. Particularly in these parts, visit doesn't just mean going somewhere, entering, looking at something, as it were. It means an engagement, an encounter. People can visit each other without going anywhere. They can sit down and catch up. That was a good visit, people would say to each other, or say to me, oh, we haven't had a visit in a long time, people would say. It means catching up. It means getting to know each other and having a good, friendly encounter and a conversation. If we take that perspective on perhaps what we are celebrating today, it can perhaps open up for us an understanding of the greatness of which Mary speaks, the greatness of what is being done not just for her, but for the whole world. And yet the idea of visiting, even though that's what's being described, that's the occasion, that's the scene, the idea of the word of visiting, that sort of doesn't occur. But it does occur twice in the long song of praise from Elizabeth's husband, Zechariah. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who has visited us and redeemed us. And then he concludes, who visits us like the dawn from on high. So here the location, the actor in the visiting, in the getting to know, in the catching up, is God. Zechariah expresses his experience of God's mercy, whose house, Zechariah's house, is who Mary visits in our scene today. Mary hears about Elizabeth's pregnancy from the angel, and so as our collect that began the Mass said, that God inspires Mary while she had conceived, was carrying the incarnate Word, to visit her cousin. She hears it and immediately and with haste rises to go to care for her. We see that she remains with her for 3 months, and if we do the maths, as we say in this country, or math in America, if we do that, we can see how Mary stays with Elizabeth until John is born. She looks after, she cares, she takes that role of looking after her cousin, even though she herself would be beginning over those 3 months to grow and have the child, the incarnate Word, grow within her. And so this visitation has been described, I don't know who described, maybe it was just somebody I heard once, described as this visitation as the first act of Christian charity. The Annunciation has brought about the Incarnation. And the first thing that happens is Mary shows her love for another, for her neighbor, for her cousin. So we begin to see the effects of God's mercy visiting us like the dawn from on high. And so maybe today we think, rather than about this movement across the hill country, south of Mary going down to visit Elizabeth, but where the visitation rather lies, where the catching up, where the getting to know lies, is in God's visit to his people. This is simply expressed in the first letter of John. In this is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the atoning sacrifice for our sins. So may our lives then be a good visit with God.